So as I was saying, first and foremost, you're definitely not taking baby steps. You don't come here to the Guru and end up taking baby steps. You take large steps. Just think, when you first did the course, when you first did the Kriya, what did you do? All you did was you went and you did breathing, right? You did breathing for half an hour, you came out, and suddenly the grass was greener, the sky was bluer, sugar was sweeter. How many of you had that experience? So do you call that a baby step? Just by half an hour of breathing, suddenly so much shift happens in you. You call that a baby step? Look at the difference that has happened from the first time when you did the basic course to now. Just look back and see how much has changed. You have changed so much, isn't it? You think that is baby steps? If you ask me, my personal opinion, what you gain just in the basic course, forget what you've done afterwards, advanced courses and blessings course, all the other courses, DSNs and intensives and all that. Just the basic course, what you get just there, that is more than what, by any traditional method, say if you had spent 20 years in a cave somewhere meditating, you get more than that. Once I was teaching an advanced course, it was a small private advanced course, so it was in someone's home. And at that time, there was a saint, who came from another state, and he has his own ashram, he has his own following. And he was there, and he was quite intrigued because we were teaching, the course over there. And he says, "Oh, Art of Living, मैंने बहुत सुना है. मैं भी आके देखना चाहता हूँ. I want to see, what it is that you all do." Now, how do you tell a saint that you have to do the basic course before you come to the advanced course, right? So I said, no, one of us will come and, give you an experience. You don't have to come join the course. So one of our teachers went and had him do the Kriya. He did just one Kriya. His face changed. And then when he met me later in the afternoon, he says, "This knowledge belongs to the saints. And your Guru is just distributing it like peanuts." In Hindi he said, ये तो संतों का ज्ञान है, ऐसे ही सिंचना जैसे बांट रहे हैं आपके गुरु ये ज्ञान. Just the Kriya. He had not done anything else. And he was a saint. And then when he came back to Bombay, he sent a message, "Tell her I'm still doing the Kriya." So if you think you're taking baby steps, that's rubbish. Once someone asked Guruji, I like the change that's happening to me. Put me on an express train. He says, "Impossible. You're already on a super express train." So that's as far as taking steps goes. Baby steps, it's not baby steps. Other than that, your concern is that how do I evaluate my growth, right? You want to know that how have I progressed, not progressed? You don't need to know that. You have a guru for that. There is no way to really know. The only measure that you and I can really see is when we look back and we see the difference that we feel between day one and now. That is the only thing that we can see. But how far we are progressing, how much we are progressing, what is happening, you have a guru for that. He knows what is happening. Let him do it. I remember that when I first came to the Art of Living, when I first met, the earlier, must be the first, second year of having met him. At that time, Guruji said, he says, "You remain seated in the cart. I'm pulling the cart. तुम्हें कुछ नहीं करना है, तुम सिर्फ बैठे रहो, मैं गाड़ी खींच रहा हूं, तुम सिर्फ उतरना नहीं." So this idea that we have in our heads that, if I'm busy at work, if I'm in the world, if I'm married, if I'm doing other things, yeah, you just have to make sure that you continue with your practices, keep in touch with the knowledge, do whatever you can every day to remain connected from your side. Otherwise, it's all happening. No matter where you are, it's all happening. Once, when I first met Gurudev, I said, first time I met him, I said, I don't want to go back. If I go back, I'll lose the feeling that, I didn't know so much joy, so much happiness was even possible in the world. I didn't know I could feel that kind of happiness. So I said, I don't want to go back. If I go back, I will lose the feeling. And he says, look, if you never ever see me again, if you never meet me again, whatever you need whenever will come to you. And he did not mean things, right? Like the feeling, the space, the knowledge. Wherever we are, if from your side you feel connected to the Master, no matter what you are doing, no matter how engaged you are in the world, if you're connected to the Master, it will all just come to you. It will keep flowing. Yeah, so don't be insecure about that.
Jai Gurudev Didi, I am about to get married. My mind is getting stuck into worldly thoughts again and again. Because of this, I am not having deep meditation, as I used to have in previous advanced courses. Is this marriage taking me away from spirituality? I am worried. Please help.
It is not marriage that's taking you away from spirituality. It is your mind that's taking you away from it. So you're getting married. Be relaxed. Be happy. There's going to be a nice shift in your life. You're going to be married. You're going to be happy. Everything's going to be good. But when you're meditating, meditate. Huh? It's your mind that's coming in the way. Nothing else. It's not marriage. It is, it's always the mind. It's never situations.
Dear Didi, my mind keeps judging myself and others, whether I am egoistic or not. Am I right in doing this?
You're judging and worrying whether you're egoistic is your ego. Just relax. Just be natural. Don't worry, am I egoistic? Am I egoistic? Again, it's all about me. Am I egoistic? Am I not egoistic? Relax. Just relax. Just chill. Even if you have an ego, you're strengthening it by doing this. You just relax and you be natural, and whatever is there is there. If the ego is there, it's there. It's not there, it's not there, doesn't matter. What are you going to do? So you are egoistic. So what are you going to do? You discover you're egoistic. What are you going to do about it? What will you do? Can you do anything about it? If you think you can do something about it, then that's your ego. Again. So just drop it and be natural. Okay? Time will take care of everything.
Jai Gurudev, my question, if you are dull, your Guru is brilliant. If you are brilliant, your Guru is irrational. If you are irrational, your Guru is irresistible. If you are perfect, your Guru is imperfection personified. If you complain, your Guru gets tougher. Does this all repeat in a cycle? Can this all happen again and again?
Can this all?
Happen again and again.
Can this all happen again and again? Yeah, so it's a game, right? So if you play cricket or you play football, can you keep playing it again and again? Same thing.
There's another question which relates to Bhagavad Gita, which is going to take place in the ashram September 1st, 2nd and 3rd. The question is, I'm a housewife, how is Bhagavad Gita relevant to me and to my husband in this rush world?
That is the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita. It is relevant through the ages for each and every person on this planet, regardless of what their lifestyle is, what they're doing, which part of the world they're in, what language they speak, what gender they are. Regardless of what it is, the knowledge is so basic. It's core knowledge. Yeah? And when you live by this knowledge, it can transform your life, and it applies to everyone. That's all the questions you have? Okay. Now, what would you like? Does anyone else have a question? Or do you have any more? Nothing? Nothing? Any more questions? You know, I keep wondering that all the time. What have I done to deserve this? I don't think I could have done anything to deserve what I've... This is just a blessing. To have a guru, to have a master like the master we have, the guru we have, for him to be in the body, for us to be in the body at the same time, and for us to even benefit. There's so many people over here who don't benefit, don't recognize him, don't. But for us to even benefit by his presence, it's just a blessing. It takes lifetimes of seeking to find a master. No? And that's what Gurudev says, right? He says 3 things are so difficult to come by. First and foremost, it is so difficult to get a human body. Just on this planet, we could have been cockroach, ant, dog, this, that, anything like that. There are so many life forms in this universe and universes. We could have been anywhere. We are here in a human body. And why is it so important to be in a human body? They say it's only in the human body that you can attain liberation. Even though they are higher life forms, but they say it's only in a human body that one can attain liberation. So it is so rare to find a human body, and it is so precious. But most people, after getting a human body also, what do? Eat, sleep, go to work, come back, flip channels, go out, meet friends, watch a few movies. That's it. Life is over, finished. They're on automatic. They have not even had a deeper thought. There are very few people who are blessed with mumukshatva. Mumukshatva, wanting to know your source, wanting to be free, wanting to know more than the mundane, wanting to go beyond the mundane. That is mumukshatva. Very few people are blessed with that. Okay, you can be blessed with mumukshatva also, but just like a candle has full potential to light, right? For the flame to come up. But if you don't bring another flame close to it, will it light? No. So in the same way, you can have mumukshatva, but if you don't have an enlightened master, if you don't have a guru, then even that human body and mumukshatva is of no use. And we are so fortunate that in this lifetime, we have all 3. And we don't know when it's going to happen again. No? We don't know when this alignment will happen again. We don't know how it works. Once, I don't know, I just told them outside, I said, don't ask me any guru stories, I'm not going to tell, and I on my own am talking about, long back, what happened was, initially when I met Gurudev, it was Art of Living was very small, right? 26 years ago, we were still starting, we were in our infant stages, so we used to spend a lot of time with him. And then Art of Living started growing bigger, and more people started coming, more teachers, they brought more people to the knowledge. So then one day I told Guruji, I said, Guruji, enough now, full stop, bas. It's become so big we don't get enough time with you. So many years ago I told him this. That time I thought it was very big. He probably had 5,000 people in satsang when he came to Bombay. That time I thought it was very big. So then he just looked at me and he says, you know, I come after thousands of years. And when I come, I feel maximum number of people should benefit. Can you imagine? You and I are sitting over here. We're walking the same floor. He has walked on every square inch of this place. We're sitting in the same place. No? It was, it's, you know how it is said in the Bhagavatam that when Krishna came, in his avatar, even the rishis, they came as trees because they wanted to participate in his leela. Can you imagine? We are sitting here as human beings. How blessed are we? How blessed. I tell you, there's no blessing greater than this. If you have a master in your life, it really doesn't matter what else you have and don't have. We've come here thousands of times, no? Millions of times we've come in different forms, sometimes rich, sometimes poor, sometimes male, sometimes female, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes beautiful, sometimes ugly, all different things. We've come in all different forms. And we will continue to come. We have experienced everything there is to experience. And it all comes and it goes. It's just a matter of few years. It goes. It's gone. When you go, when the body goes, it all goes. The most precious thing, the only thing worth having is a master, is a guru. I feel like that, and this is how I feel. After that, doesn't matter what you have, don't have. No? Those who are not in silence, do you agree with me? Yeah. So, yeah. हाँ. तो भी बदतमीजी होते हैं. कुछ नहीं, देखो, मजा लो उसका. जानते तो हो. उन्होंने तय कर लिया था कि तुम बदतमीज हो, चाहे कुछ भी तुम करते, तो बस मजा ले लो उसका, और क्या. सीरियसली नहीं लेना उसको, कोई बात नहीं. उनको स्ट्रेस, देखो किसी को स्ट्रेस है तो वो किसी तरह निकालना चाहते हैं ना, तो कंपैशन रखो उनके लिए. देखो तो घर जाके क्रिया कर सकते हो, वो क्या करेंगे. है ना? यही तो मैंने कहा अभी कि अब गुरु मिले हैं, जो देते हैं ले लो, आगे का पता नहीं. कोई बात नहीं, मैंने इंग्लिश में बोला तब हिंदी में भी तो लोग थे, कोई बात नहीं. और क्या? हाँ. What did he say? He said questions. Guruji said questions are stupid. Huh? I have never heard Guruji say that. He answers questions every evening. Acha, I have not read that. Huh? I can't comment on that. हाँ, वो है, हाँ. Words are limiting. That's what Guruji says, that words are limiting. So, all this is okay, but there is something beyond that, right? Connection is beyond. Huh? Of course, that's why this whole organization is a playing field. All the seva that we do, all the projects that we do, Guruji doesn't need us to do any of these things. Just one sankalp from him is enough. But still he does all this because it's a field for us to learn. This entire organization has been set up in such a way that it's a field for us to learn.
There's another question, Didi, which has just come. It's relevant to what you're speaking now. It says, when Guruji speaks the knowledge, everybody's receiving it, interpreting it, coloring it with their perception and adapting it to their use according to their state of their mind.
Correct.
How can we receive the knowledge which he gives in its purest form without coloring it?
It's like the Gita. Every time you read the Gita, it has a different meaning, right? It depends on your state of evolution. So Guruji's knowledge is also like that. Every time, at least that's my experience. How many of you have had that experience? Isn't it? Every time you read it, it holds a different meaning. Because it's not just words. Infinity is contained in his words. It's energy, his words are, So every time you read it, that's it. Anything else? Would you like to meditate? Should we meditate? What time is it? Is it? Huh? We have time? So we can meditate a little and then maybe you all can sing after that. Or would you like to sing and then meditate? Meditate? Ha ha ha. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Guruji, every time someone, I've heard Guruji say this a few times, he says, first make a list of why you are not here. And then whatever remains is why you're here. Yeah, tell her, say if she asks, why am I here? Then say, okay, why are you not here? Write that down. Tell her, make a list. Every day just make a list, Why are you not here? Why are you not, what are you here not for? Yeah? So that will be fun for her also. It will keep her thinking because you cannot give an answer for that, right? She has to discover it. How beautiful. You're so lucky to have a child like that. Tell her this. All our children who've done our courses, be it Art Excel, yes, intuition process, my God, they just changed people. You feel like, and the children, they're so innocent, they just get it. So wonderful to have. Just imagine if all children in the world do the intuition process, the world will be a different place in the future, isn't it? We should take this knowledge to everyone. Everyone, all children should get this knowledge. They're entitled to it. Yeah? Uh-huh. My head is saying this and my heart is saying this. Your head is thinking what is right and what is wrong. It has logical, there's no emotion involved in it. And when your heart says something, it means there's an emotion involved in it, meaning you want something. Yeah, that. So you have to listen to both. Listen to both your head at times and your heart. That's what Gurudev says. Yeah. At different times, different things. In relationships, you listen to your heart. And when it comes to practical things, you listen to your head. Let your logic, apply your logic there. Shall we meditate now? Come. Has everyone done Sahaj Samadhi? Yeah? Everyone has a mantra? Okay, great. How many of you do not have a mantra? Oh, just a few of you don't have. Okay. Come, we'll sit with our eyes closed. Huh? Doesn't matter. You know, in meditation, since this meditation question has come up and everyone's here to meditate, in meditation, you don't control your meditation. You just sit there and whatever is happening, let it happen. You be an observer, not a doer. Yeah, because then that's not meditation, that's work. Get that? That's the difference between work and meditation. Come. Meditation.